Hi everyone, my name is Kaylie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, everybody, happy Saturday. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day, and I hope that 2025 is going well for you guys so far. I feel like for me, 2025 is looking up in a way, or maybe I'm just delusional and just at this point telling myself whatever I want to believe. But I have seen you guys DM me and send me emails about the StoryTime link not working again. Don't worry, I'm gonna get that all figured out. I don't know why every few months it stops working. It's really annoying, but yeah, the nails look atrocious. I know. Do you guys see that? Quite terrible. But we're not here to focus on the nails today. I do have a story time for you guys. So whether you are listening to this while you're getting ready, listening to this on the drive to work, doing dishes, laundry, whatever, get comfy, get cozy, and let's get into this shit. I'm gonna bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, we're going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I'll be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. By the way, guys, I'm using my new mic and I really want to know what you guys think of it. I didn't use it in like the last two videos. I think I used it on the video that came out on Valentine's Day. To me, the audio sounds pretty good with this mic. It might not right now because I'm a little bit far away from it. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. But whoever recommended me using the Blue Yeti mic, I actually got one like a day before or maybe a week before something. That comment was posted and I was like, okay, shit, I guess this one's good. So yeah. Okay, so story time about how my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend tried to unalive him. Yeah, I don't know what the F is up with y'all trying to unalive your exes and shit, but stop. It only makes you look more desperate. Also, you just shouldn't do that. Okay, so a little background information. I was 17 and a senior in high school whenever this whole situation happened, but we are going to rewind back to whenever I was in elementary school, so that way I can give you guys a little bit of background information on my boyfriend and his ex-girlfriend. So we are going to call my boyfriend Kevin and his ex-girlfriend Caroline. Now, Kevin and Caroline have been dating since they were like in 5th grade. Not joking. And from then until high school, everybody thought that they were the most perfect couple, and you rarely heard anything about Kevin cheating on her or any rumors that they were broken up or anything like that because everybody else was also obsessed with them and thought that they were so cute. Like, nobody really wanted to take this girl's man, or even tried to, from what I know. Now, I have never been friends with Caroline. Not gonna lie, she was always a part of that rich bitch clique. And these girls weren't bullies. They would actually pretend to be nice to you, but they would also never really be your friend. Obviously, I'm not them. I don't know what goes through their mind, but I think it was one of those things where they look at themselves and then they look at you and they realize that you guys basically just weren't meant to be friends. Anyways, so now that you guys know the background of Kevin and Caroline, we can fast forward to my senior year. So like I said, I was 17 and Caroline and Kevin were 18. Well, at the start of my senior year, I kind of had some drama of my own going on. There was this one girl who wanted to fight me because the guy that she liked me and not her. And instead of realizing that it wasn't my fault, she thought that it was all my fault, even though I literally wouldn't give this guy an ounce of attention. So yeah, what does this have to do with the story? Well, I just happened to be put in 3 classes with her. So I went to my guidance counselor. I was like, listen, this hoe's probably going to drag me in the middle of class. Please put me into a different class. So my guidance counselor switched up my whole schedule and I ended up being put in a ton of classes with Kevin and Caroline. Now, remember how I said that I never really talked to Caroline? Well, I never really talked to Kevin either. Anyway, so after the first day of school, that's whenever I realized that Kevin and Caroline were in almost all of my classes, which it doesn't make sense that she's in all of his classes because she's actually really smart. And yeah, I don't know. She probably did that on purpose, but whatever. That's not my business. They were in a relationship. Anyways, fast forward over the next 2 weeks, I start realizing that Kevin is looking at me quite a lot. Well, actually, scratch that. Not just looking at me, I mean like full on staring at me. You know how you can sometimes feel somebody's eyes burning into the back of your head or just like burning right through you? Yeah, well, that's what it was like being in class with Kevin. So obviously I would look when I felt him staring at me. By the time I would look over, Caroline is also staring me down. So at this point, I feel awkward, and it happened like 6 times in one of our classes, and it got so awkward to the point where I literally wanted to go up to her and be like, hey, I just want you to know I'm not staring at your boyfriend. I don't want your boyfriend. But then what am I gonna do? Be like, oh, your boyfriend is staring at me in class. That's why I keep looking at him. See, either way you say it, it just sounds not okay. So fast forward to October. We are now a month into our senior year, and Caroline hasn't been in school for like the past 2 weeks, which definitely didn't affect my day. I did not give one single fuck. But during this time, Kevin seemed to be warming up to me a little bit, and it wasn't like I was trying to make him warm up to me or anything. He was actually the one who would start talking to me. Like in almost every class that we had together, before the bell would ring for class to be over, we would all stand by the door waiting for the bell to ring, and he would come over and he would just start talking to me out of nowhere. And yeah, I know that doesn't sound crazy, but for a guy who literally never talked to anybody except for his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friends, I thought this was a pretty big deal. But I don't know, that's just me. So fast forward, he adds me on Snapchat and we start talking, but one of the first things that I had asked him about was Caroline, because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of uncomfortable with Snapchatting a guy who had been locked in with the same girl since he was in elementary school, especially if they're still together. So after a little bit of small talk, I finally asked him, hey, is Caroline okay? I haven't seen her the last 2 weeks. And that's whenever he says, oh, I don't know, we broke up 2 weeks ago. So I basically put together that she had stopped coming to school the day that he broke up with her, which I mean, shit, if the guy that I was basically married to broke up with me after being together for like 12 years, maybe that's over exaggerating. I'm not good at math. I would need some PTO too. Anyway, so now I start feeling better about him and I talking. In my head, I'm like, okay, he doesn't have a girlfriend and he doesn't seem like the type of guy that would play me, you know, just like string me along while he waited for him and his girlfriend to get back together and then ghost me. Obviously, these were all just observations that I made about him. But yeah, so over the next little bit, him and I are Snapchatting and texting each other and talking a lot in all of our classes. Of course, we had Caroline's little friends taking pictures of us and probably sending them to her. Like, we would always catch them just taking pictures of us, like, right below their desk or something. I was like, really, girl? Be so fucking for real. But as long as he didn't care about that, I didn't care about it. Because if I'm gonna be real with you guys, if he did care, him and I were gonna have some big problems. And the only reason why I say that is because if you and your girlfriend are broken up, you would not care about pictures of you and another girl getting back to her. But then again, he was a really sweet guy and his character just maybe another reason why he wouldn't want pictures getting back to her is so that way it wouldn't make her sad. I don't know. Anyways, in our last class of the day, on Monday, we were standing by the door per usual, waiting for the bell to ring. And that's when he asks me if I would want to go on a date with him, which I thought that this was so cute that he asked me in person. Like, he didn't just ask me over Snapchat or something. So I say yes to him. Fast forward to Friday. We had plans to go to Olive Garden and then go to the movies. So after we get seated and order our food, I tell him that I have to go to the bathroom, and as I'm walking toward the front, guess who I see? Caroline and her family walking in. So I spin my ass around, run back to that fucking table. I'm like, no, 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 not today. Yes, today, sadly. But yeah, I run back over to the fucking table and I'm like, and he's like, are you okay? Do you need me to show you where the bathroom is? And I'm like, no, actually, your ex-girlfriend's here with her family. And he's like, what? And then as soon as he says that, the waitress is like bringing them over and she puts them at the booth directly behind him. So now from where I am sitting, I can see Caroline and her mother at the booth behind him and they are staring directly at me. So then Caroline starts fucking crying. Of course, this makes it very uncomfortable, but we are still trying to enjoy our date. I don't know if you guys know how hard it is to enjoy a date whenever a fucking 18-year-old girl is bawling her eyes out like a 3-year-old in a restaurant. So then you guys are never gonna guess what happens, or maybe you can. I don't know, probably not. But Caroline's mother, Jody, comes over to our table, sits her ass down by Kevin, and she's like, can you come and talk to us for a minute? And he's like, no. And she's like, excuse me? And then Caroline starts to cry louder. And then he looks at me, looks at Jody, turns around, looks at Caroline, and he looks at me again, and he's like, okay, but like only for a minute. And then instead of them going and like talking in like the front of the restaurant or something, or like somewhere where I wasn't, she leads him to sit right at the table with Caroline and her. So I'm staring at all three of them. I'm staring at my date, his psycho ex-girlfriend, and her psycho fucking mother. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, is this even fucking real? Like, is this really my life? I go on a date with a guy and he ends up on a date with his ex-girlfriend. Okay, so after 2 minutes, I grab my shit and I leave. And I left $30 on the fucking table because absolutely not. I'm not about to sit there and have you make an ass out of me. Just no. Like, what the fuck? The worst part is that before I left, I heard, what's her face, Caroline's mom say to Kevin, you know that our family has been coming here every Thursday for the past 5 years. And that's when he looks at her and he's like, it's Friday. And she goes, same fucking thing. I'm like, all right, bitch. Okay, you're a psycho. So as I'm driving home, I'm just thinking to myself, why the fuck would he bring me here? Like, was it to make her jealous so that way they would get back together? I was convinced that he had some sick plan of how he was going to use me to get back with his ex-girlfriend. So then he texts me that night, and then he texts me Saturday night, and then he texts me Sunday night, and he was just apologizing in every text that he sent me about how he feels like such a douchebag that he would even think to bring me to that restaurant. He just wasn't thinking, didn't cross his mind. Also, I did end up finding out that the only reason why they did know that we were at Olive Garden was because Caroline's sister worked there and texted them and told them that him and I were there. So that was nice. This whole thing could have been avoided, but no. So I asked my mom what she thinks I should do, because my mom, not only is she my best friend, but she gives the most amazing advice, even though she is very empathetic and definitely a give everyone a second chance type of person. I would have asked my friends for advice, but most of my friends were like very obsessed with being in the middle of drama and starting drama. And I feel like if I would have asked them what I should do, they would have given me the most drama-filled solution to this problem. So her advice to me is that he's never given me a reason not to trust him, and he is apologizing. Guys, letting your eyebrows grow out is not for the fucking weak. Look at that shit that I just have to leave out. Anyways, so yeah, she says that I should give him a second chance, you know, and if another scenario like this one happens to come about, then maybe next time he apologizes, I can accept the apology, but I should not trust him again. So I took her advice and I messaged him saying, hey, I did not respond to any of your texts because I was really upset about what happened. I appreciate you apologizing, and yes, I would like to go on another date with you, because he had also said to me that he wanted to make it up to me by taking me out on another date. So period. So after that, I go on Snapchat to just Snapchat my friends, and that's whenever I realized that homeboy blocked me. Yeah, Kevin blocked me, which I was surprised about. I'm like, oh. So then I go on the Instagram and I see that he blocked me there too. And now I'm like, all right, what the fuck is going on? I go to my text messages and the message that I sent to him delivered. And guys, I hate how like us girls just overthink so much, because now I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, what if he actually got back with her? And what if he's still trying to talk to me on the low, but he doesn't want her to know that he's still talking to me, so he has me blocked on everything that's public, la-di-da-di-da, this, that, and the next. Just girl brain things, you know. But I did not message him about this because I was not about to seem like some psycho obsessed bitch, because that is not me. So at 3:30 in the morning, I get a text message from him. 3:30 Monday morning, I get a text from him and he's like, hey, sorry, fell asleep super early, but I'm super happy that you're giving me another chance. Thank you. Like I said, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect that to happen. Her and her family are effing crazy. Trying to get away from them has been super hard because my family and her family are so close. So I wake up 3 hours after he sent that text to get ready for school, and I respond to him saying, it's okay, but I'm not gonna lie, if she keeps on harassing you, I don't think that we're gonna be able to talk anymore. I do not want to be in the middle of any drama. I already have girls at school that want to fight me over guys. We don't need to add any other ones to that list. And he was like, no, I completely understand. Before our next date, I'll make sure that I have a talk with my family and Caroline and hers, just so that way there's no confusion about me and her being done. Obviously, actions speak louder than words, but the fact that him and I weren't even dating yet and he was going to take such a big step to try and make me feel comfortable while him and I were getting to know each other really meant a lot to me. So fast forward, him and I are back to normal, talking to each other in school, texting, Snapchatting each other. And then on Wednesday night, he calls me and I feel a little bit awkward because him and I have never like talked on the phone. So I'm like, hey, and he's like, hey, like just wanted to let you know that I talked to my parents. They know that things are done between Caroline and I, and they talked to her parents. I talked to Caroline. There should be no confusion on whether her and I are together or not, because everybody knows now, it's been made pretty clear that we are not together. And my parents have said that they're going to stop talking to Caroline's parents, which was nice to hear. Caroline wasn't being understanding at all, which I kind of expected that, but he made it known that if she kept harassing him, because I didn't know this, but over the last few weeks she had been blowing up his phone, showing up to his house and shit, just doing things that weren't okay. And yeah, but during the week I did bring up to him the fact that I was blocked on Instagram and Snapchat, and I brought it up to him while him and I were in class, and he was like, no, I didn't do any of that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to believe you, but then I low-key don't believe you because it's your Instagram and your Snapchat. And he was like, well, I got an email, you know, the other night saying that my Instagram had been logged into at this address, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, so then we did some digging. We saw like, you know, all the devices that were logged into his account. And then we realized that it was definitely Caroline who went onto his accounts and blocked me. Yeah. Girlie's a psycho. So fast forward, Kevin and I, we go on this date. And you know what? Right then and there, I literally like fell in love with him. Same with him. He fell in love with me too. I don't know what it was. It was like same word, different fonts. Literally, like we were the same fucking person. And at the end of the night, it was one of those things where we didn't want to leave each other. Like we were having so much fun that we were on this date for probably 8 hours. Like we went out at 5 o'clock to this restaurant, and then he took me home, and I got home at probably like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. Yeah. Now we're gonna fast forward to January. Kevin had asked me out on Christmas. So him and I have been dating for only like 2 weeks. And Caroline decided to come back to school after Christmas break. Well, I don't know what she did, but all of a sudden I had bitches that I didn't even know existed hating me and giving me dirty looks and shit like that. I even had teachers being rude to me, literally. Like if they saw me speaking to Kevin or something like that, they would call me out in the middle of the class and move me like completely across the room, which I know you're probably like, okay, well maybe you just shouldn't be talking in class. No, but like this is while everybody else is talking as well. Like, you know, we're all doing worksheets. It's not like I was disrupting the class or anything like that. But now the girl who had wanted to fight me about that guy, remember the beginning of the story whenever I told you that there was a girl who liked a guy and whatever. Well, now she came up with another reason on why she wanted to beat my ass. And this was because of Caroline. She said that I go after everybody's man and this, that, and the next, which literally is not fucking true. I wouldn't touch the man that she liked with a 10-foot pole, but I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, if y'all know what that means. So yeah, I have this bitch wanting to fight me again, even though literally, apparently her and I had squashed whatever beef we had. We were at this party and we both were talking to each other, and she was like, yeah, honestly, fuck him. He was a douchebag. He ended up trying to get with one of my friends after I thought that him and I were dating, and I was like, yeah, like I promise I was never trying to go after him. And now here we are, she wants to fucking fight me. She, like, co-signing some beef that I had with some other bitch. Like, what the fuck? So then, yeah, you guys get the point. Caroline's basically trying to get bitches to fight me, but she won't do it because she doesn't want, Kevin to think that she's doing anything wrong. She wants to look like a perfect angel in his eyes, which for a little bit she was doing a good job. Like, I would tell him about this stuff and he'd be like, bro, no, like, Caroline's not like that. She would never like harm anybody. Well, now let's fast forward to March of our senior year. I find out that I'm pregnant with Kevin's baby, of course, and I think this is where the straw broke the camel's back. Yeah, because I was keeping it and his mom had posted something on Facebook. And throughout all this time, she has been trying to text him, email him, and stuff like that. And we've just been ignoring it because we don't want to play into it. And I'm not trying to address it because I really don't want to get beat up, guys. Like, I really don't. I don't got money for reconstruction, facial surgery, whatever the fuck that shit's called. No. I don't have the funds for that. But Kevin was super big into bikes, like motorcycles, dirt bikes, and all that shit. And every month, him and tons of people from the city would meet up and just ride through the city in a big group on their fucking dirt bikes and motorcycles and four-wheelers and everything. And he'd been going to this for the past like 6 years. Well, one of them was coming up. Obviously, I think that every girl can agree whenever they say that they do not like their man participating in shit like this. We get worried that they're gonna just be a boy and do some dangerous shit, like try to do a fucking wheelie or just not pay attention. But it was something that he loved to do, so I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't do that. Well, I really wish that I would have told him not to go, because Caroline's psychotic ass and that one girl who decided that she needed to fight me again followed him in their car while he's on his motorcycle. Dumb bitch has a dash cam, so obviously you can fucking see. And he was like on his way to the meetup spot around like 4:30 in the afternoon. But yeah, they followed him on the highway and she kept trying to swerve into him. And so finally he gets off the highway, he's at an exit, and she gets off that same exit and there's like a red light a little bit after the exit. He's at this red light. She flies up behind him and just fucking... And as she hit him, he flew into the middle of the intersection. There was a car coming and his bike had hit the side of the car and he literally like flipped over the fucking car. Yeah, she's not in jail, sadly. He ended up breaking both of his legs, but honestly, it could have been so much worse. So I'm thankful that that's literally all it was. But her and this bitch, on the other hand, they're not in jail. They didn't even go to jail because she was driving under the influence. This is one problem that I do have, is that there have been people that have literally murdered people from drunk driving or just driving under the influence, and their prison sentence, I'm sorry, but it's a slap on the wrist. Like, you're taking somebody's life and they're only giving you like 22 years. No, that's not okay. But yeah, so after this though, Kevin was able to get a protective order because of the harassing, and also before this, she had been sending threats that she was going to murder our kid and that she was going to kill me and cut the baby out of me. It was fucking weird. And her mom was low-key encouraging this behavior because she would also text me telling me that I'm a whore and a tramp. And then she started harassing my mom, telling her that she's a terrible mother and she raised a whore. But yeah, I did end up having a miscarriage, but don't really want to go into that because it's still very upsetting and I don't think that I will ever be able to have kids. So yeah. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you want to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below in the description. But other than that, I will see you next time with the new story time.